Thanks for joining us on Our American Travel. Today is May 31st, 2021. On this day in the United States, we celebrate Memorial Day. Rather than posting a typical camping video this week, we wanted to take the opportunity to honor the fallen men and women of our nation and tell you a story of one of my family's most precious heroes. There's often confusion about Memorial Day and what it's really all about. It's a national holiday set aside to honor those who have died fighting for this great nation. It's often confused with Veterans Day, celebrated on November 11th, which is a time to thank all who have served in all branches of the United States military. I've heard numerous Memorial Day speeches in my lifetime, and it's not necessary to repeat any of them, but I'd like to share a couple of my favorite quotes concerning this day. General George S. Patton said, "It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men live." This quote helps me to stay focused on what I believe is truly important. It's to be thankful for the soldiers that went before us and ultimately gave their lives. In his Gettysburg Address, Abraham Lincoln said that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. This gives me hope that the deaths of these great men were not in vain, but were given to secure the liberty of the citizens of the United States. Memorial Day has great personal meaning for me and my family. During World War II, my mom's brother, Lawrence Lee Barlow, wanted to serve in the Marines, but was turned down because of a reversible medical condition. However, he was determined to serve. He worked hard to save money in order to have surgery to reverse his condition. After recovery, he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. After basic training, he was deployed to Okinawa, which was the last battle in World War II. On May 17, 1945, while attacking a difficult position, he was killed in action. He was buried in the 1st Marine Division Cemetery in Okinawa. A couple of months later, my grandmother received the following letter. "Dear Mrs. Barlow, it is with great sorrow that I write you this letter, because it's about your son, Lawrence Lee Barlow, who gave his life for his country while fighting with my company on Okinawa. No mere words I can put here can make up in any way for the loss, but I hope I can help out a little by giving the circumstances. Lawrence joined us in the Russell Islands and was in the 1st squad of our 1st Rifle Platoon, which was commanded by Lieutenant L.L. Miller. He was an assistant automatic rifleman. A more courageous and loyal Marine cannot be found. On the 17th of May, 1945, our company was attacking a very difficult position, trying to reach a ridge known as the Wana Ridge near the town of Wana, Okinawa. Lawrence's fire team was at the front of the column during the assault. At 7:30 a.m. on the 17th, he was struck in the neck by a burst of Japanese machine gun fire, and the end came instantly with absolutely no suffering. His fire team leader, PFC Jimmy Kellerman, was with him at the time, but neither his services nor those of our 2 battalion doctors were needed, as he was already in the hands of God. The burial was held the following day, May 18th, in the beautiful 1st Marine Division Cemetery near Utan Airfield on the island of Okinawa. He was laid in his final resting place in grave 354, plot number 2, and the ceremony was conducted by a Navy chaplain. The division has notified us that the pictures of the individual graves will be available in the near future at the Casualty Section, Headquarters, U.S. Marine Corps, Washington, D.C., and I would suggest you writing that headquarters if you desire one. We have already turned over his personal belongings to the proper authorities for forwarding home. This is the sad story of the loss of a fine man and an outstanding Marine. Lawrence was a fine boy, always brave and willing, and we are proud to have served with him. He was loved and respected by every officer and man in his command, and was truly a credit to the Marine Corps. We have suffered an irreplaceable loss, but his spirit will be with us always, and we shall not forget him. May the grace of God be always with him. The nation pays tribute to you and other fine mothers whose sons have made the supreme sacrifice for a great cause. I'm sure that he did not die in vain. If there is additional information you might desire, Mrs. Barlow, please feel free to write me at any time, and I will do all that I possibly can to help. Very sincerely yours, Robert I. Owen, Captain, United States Marine Corps. Wow. Can you imagine getting a letter like that? My mom was 13 years old when this letter arrived. 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 13 years old when this By the time I was old enough to learn about this part of my family's history, she always spoke of him with great pride, because he was more than willing to give the ultimate sacrifice of his life in order to ensure freedom in this world. I recently read a book called Heroes Don't Run, but in fact, heroes do run. They run to battle, and that's what my Uncle Lawrence did. The flag and the medals my Uncle Lawrence received have become some of my most prized possessions. I never had the opportunity to know him, but he has influenced me in more ways than I can even express. I'd like to end with this quote from Ronald Reagan. He said, "The United States and the freedom for which it stands, the freedom for which they died, must endure and prosper. Their lives remind us that freedom is not bought cheaply. It has a cost. It imposes a burden.